Can we talk about arrogance? It's like a cancer in the heart. And what I mean by that, I don't mean like when you have like a nice car and a nice house and you're bragging about it. That's obviously very bad and that is not gonna get you into paradise. But that's not the type of arrogancy that I'm talking about. The type of arrogance that I'm talking about is, for example, when you see somebody and you think he's lesser than you because of any reason. I don't know, maybe you see a brother that doesn't have a beard and you're like, oh, he doesn't have a beard, so he's not faithful. That, my friend, is arrogance, and that is gonna keep you out of paradise. They say that you cannot even have a mustard seed of arrogance. Have you seen a mustard seed? It's like this. So imagine how bad is arrogance considered by God. So we know bragging about stuff is messed up. That's 100% arrogancy. That's something you should not do. I've seen people like Andrew Tate, they say that they follow Islam now, but they have to improve a lot because Andrew Tate is really arrogant with the stuff he has. And that's one type of arrogancy. We don't know who's going to be in paradise and who's not, so I cannot say like that's going to keep him out of paradise. Only God knows that. But I'm just saying, arrogance is a cancer of the heart. You should never have it. You should have it cleaned up. For example, if you go to your office and your boss tells you like, hey, can you make me coffee? Or maybe can you mop the floor or something like that. And in your heart, you're like, me? You're telling me that shouldn't be my job? Of course, that shouldn't be your job. But thinking that you cannot perform something because you're higher than that or better than that is wrong. You should always be humble in life. Even if you have to mop the floor, that is okay. That is fine. There's no problem. Also, arrogancy comes when, for example, you don't want to say sorry in a conflict or in a situation. Normally, if there's a conflict and you have the fault, it's very easy to say sorry because it was your fault. It is hard when it is not your fault and you still take the blame and you still say sorry. That, my friend, is a symbol of a clean heart. For example, let's say a husband and a wife have an argument and it's not really your fault. For example, it's not really your fault, you know it's not your fault. But just because you love that person, you say, you know what, honey, I'm sorry, it's my fault. That is a clean heart. That is being not arrogant. So arrogancy comes in many different types and forms, and we need to avoid it because we can be praying all day. But at the end of the day, if you have arrogancy in your heart, you might not make it to paradise. And that is a cancer of the heart, and it needs to be improved. It needs to be eliminated. Once you eliminate that from your heart, your life changes. You're so much more peaceful. Life is so much more better. You have no stress in your heart. It's difficult to explain. And the message is also for me. Every video that I make is actually a message for me, for my own learning. And I try to share my learning as well with other people. So let's consider the next time that we think we're better than somebody. We might be better than somebody, but you cannot consider yourself higher than another person. You should always consider all human beings at the same level. Or you can consider yourself even lower. Be more humble. If you know you're good at something and the other person doesn't know, you don't really need to show it. You don't need to brag about it. No, my advice is be humble. Remember, God is watching everybody and He's the one that knows who has what qualities. So who are you to think that you're better than somebody else? At the end of the day, it was arrogancy that sent Iblis to what he is today, right? He didn't want to bow down to a human creation because we're not made from the same material he is. So he didn't want to bow down to humans. So God made him what He made him.